Yes, thanks for listening to me in my first video for the new year. And I want to bring this back once again to you in a second. What is important to you? Guyana, yourself, or your political party? In any developing country, as you might be aware of today, and you can see for yourself, every developing country people are trying. Only in Guyana, you still have your racial clashes between Indian versus black, black versus Indian. And everybody wanted to be a president. This is not the answer to civilization nor the answer to prosperity. All these politicians know how to lie. Take AFC, you got Mr. Nagamutu, and you got Ramjatan, you got Tratman, and you have others. Are not these two people from the same two major parties that you did not like at one time or the other? And then they claim that they leave because they have your interest at hand? Ask Ramjatan, ask Nagamutu, ask Tratman and others. Why did not they vote against the constitution that everybody was going against under Burnham? And ask them why they vote for the class to deny your children who live out of Guyana the rights from coming to run for presidency in the country unless you live 7 years in the country. Especially when taxpayer money had sent men like Barry Jagdeo and many more, as my information goes, to study in Moscow and other countries and scholarship. And there becomes the leader of the country instead of the servant of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand clearly. This is not about race or nationality. It's about the smart fish use the stupid one. Wake up. Your son and daughter is just as much as important as these corrupt individuals that are ruling you. Now, there's a party called the URP, which Rise Again, Vishnu Bandhu. That is the party historically that brings Jimmy Carter into Guyana, that you had a fair and free election. A lot of the PNC members are very jealous. They don't want to see development, and they're talking about corruption. Ask who spent $10 million for the badge, with the electricity badge, that with a generator. Ask them who was the second richest black man in the world. Was Fos Burnham. And the other former man in PNC was a big man who alleged, if it's thing because I was a younger man that time, about a $10 million US value in some oil badge. Find out about it. They know the man, you may get to know the man. And they are talking about corruption. It was the PNC destroyed the tree, dismantled the train station from the tree county when food was coming cheap to you. It was them who take off the public transportation of the yellow bus. It's them who closed down the facility of training your children to become mechanic, welders, carpenters, and other. It was them who started a lot of nationalization. They run people out of the country. Indian had to flee to Venezuela, Suriname, Trinidad, and many other countries, worse than refugees. I call upon you not to make the same mistake. At this present moment, I call upon you, Indian and black, to leave the native Indians alone, the Amerindian. That is their country. You tell me about a God and you say, thou shalt not commit adultery, but thou shalt not thief. And you take in a country that don't belong to you and ruling the Amerindian. While Africa have black people ruling it and India got Indian. Are you people not ashamed? Or are you not hypocrites? Here you're telling me in one hand one thing, but on the other side you're doing something else. When you talk about corruption, and the PNC talk about corruption and racism, you are not the biggest majority in the country, but when you rule the country, 99.9% of your military were black, your police were black, most of your civil servants were black. What is corruption? Tell me. It is like 3,000 Chinese living in China, but 2,500 is employed in government agency. And they are saying that not racist? Something wrong with your mind. And then you all are lying to people. Well, I'm going to tell you here today. If you don't want the PPP, you have that right, and I respect that. But then you can't choose AFC after fooling the country. Because AFC is a part and parcel of PPP and PNC. WPA, blessed are the peacemaker that join hands with their enemy. Why did not David Granger appoint David Hines to become the leader of APNU or Rupert Rupnaran. We see in many instances Sam Hines become prime minister and sometimes he hold the presidency until they return. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not only about race. If anybody is racial in Guyana, it's you, the black people. And corrupt at the same time and destructive at the same time. Now, I'm not talking about the 10% who standing up for principle and discipline like the WPA crew and those who lost their life. And when you talk about corruption and stupidity and dumb at the same time, it's you, the goody. I'm not talking about the few decent ones who stand up. And Indian, between you and the Jews, I don't know who love money more. But I'm not going to get into that. Because all of you talk of God, but all of you are corrupt. Think of the younger generation. Our population is not big. Let's give the Amerindian more position in the government of the country, regardless who wins. But I am telling you here tonight in this next election, if Republican Party run with Bandu and you want to remove the PPP, then the Republican Party must be the party. The United Republican Party must be the party to lead you. If you make a mistake and choose AFC, you got the PNC back. And if you make a mistake and choose APNU, you don't have a country. Plenty Indian gonna have to run out that country. All your building will be swampy. You can't have a voice. I am telling you here, I'm not a racist. And for those judges and magistrates that like sentence people, lock them up wrongfully, I got a message for you. You got children. You can't run far. And in a right government, you shall and will be tried for locking up innocent people. I don't care what race you are. If you're an Indian and there's a black magistrate or judge, don't jump because you don't like the person or what they stand for, what they say, because your party tell you to lock them up. When you jail a man, take away his freedom, and you know you're wrong, and everybody know you're wrong because the man is innocent, your penalty must be death or your children own. And I'm not apologizing for this. You don't lock up people and turn back and say you're sorry you make mistake and accuse a man for a crime he didn't commit. And I don't care how far you're going to bring you back. I don't care how old you are, we can try you. And if the world say you're too old, your sons and daughters or your grandchildren shall stand your pain. Take it from me because I believe in the Bible. The 10th and 7th generation shall feel the blunt of the darkness and curse that you lay upon innocent people. There will be many Spartacus, many Geronimo, many Coffee, but there's only one Mandela. It is not forgiven again the way you think. So be careful what you're saying and what you're doing to people. The Bible says, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Judges and magistrates must have mercy upon people. Prosecutor, and if you're an Indian magistrate or judge and lock up a black or another race because you don't like them, you need to go back into prison or be executed. And if you're a black magistrate and judge and do the same, you need to be executed or go to jail. You don't do these things to people. You don't take away their freedom because you don't like them. If you want to praise racism, go to India and Africa. Leave Guyana to Guyanese. You talk about 6 people, 6 nations, 6 destiny. Destiny cemetery yard. What 6 people you're talking about? What 6 nationality? You don't accept them, you only use it as a phrase. So I'm telling you here tonight, if the United Republican Party is running, give them a chance against all. But if you don't want to get rid of all of them, and you don't want the PPP, my advice to you, you don't want APNU, and you do not want AFC. Let APNU give David Hines, a black man like themselves, the leadership, and we're going somewhere. Or give Rupert Rupnaran an Indian, like what the PPP do with Sam Hines. And ask AFC, where are they going? And I tell you straight, after fouling the nation, and you know what I mean, fouling the country, then they come tell you that they want to bring about a change. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Guyana shall produce many Spartacus, many Geronimo, and as the man said, bad boy, where you going to run to? Thank you, have a good night.